Hello guys, my name is Sergio and let's continue with our tutorial, and in this video I'm going to create an actual WebSocket API. And this API will handle the incoming connections from the clients as well as the incoming messages. And for this purpose we'll need two Lambda functions, one for the connections and the second for the messages. So let's go ahead and create these functions. So Lambda, create new functions. Let's call it on connect. Let's use the default value. Runtime is going to be Node.js, and we'll create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. It takes us a while, several seconds, to create this function. That's how the AWS works. And the basic code generated with this function is enough for us to handle the connections. We actually don't need it at all. And let's go ahead and create a second function on message. Message, the same runtime, the same permissions, new role, create a function. And let's go ahead and update a little bit the message coming from this function. Hello from WebSocket Lambda, to make sure we see the response from this code, from this function. Save it. Let's go back to API Gateway and create our WebSocket API. So create new API, make sure you select the WebSocket API. Let's call it WebSocket Server. The route expressions, in my case, it's request body action. I'll show it at the next step what's the meaning of this route expression. Request body action looks okay. Let's go next. And as you can see, it looks slightly different from normal REST API service. The difference is that the REST API has the resources and the methods attached to those resources. So based on these resources and the methods, we know how to route the incoming requests to different. So through those endpoints, we can go route the requests to different Lambda functions, to different AWS services, mocks, and so on and so on. In this case, there's only one single endpoint for WebSockets, which is used only for connection and for all the messages. So using this route expression, which I defined at the previous step, I can route the incoming messages on different handlers, on different routes. There are also three default routes handlers defined in here already. So connect is the one used for connection. Let's use our Lambda for this thing. On connect, save it, okay. And it works slightly different, so it's quite slow. We have to go back and forth, and we can see the flow of the request, of the connection request to the WebSocket server, from the client towards our Lambda. The Lambda is not responding back with anything to the client. It just says that the connection is established, and that's it. So let's test this thing. We have to deploy it to a new stage. Test in environment version 1.0.0. Deploy it. Copy the WebSocket URL. And I have a small application which allows me to connect to a WebSocket server. It displays the status of the connection. There's an option to send a message to the server, and all the incoming messages from the server to the client will be listed in this block. At the moment the list is empty. So let's connect to the server. Connect. The connection is successfully established. There are no errors in here. You can see it's green. Everything works fine. But let's try to send a message, and it should fail. Test message 1. It should fail because we don't have any handler to handle at the moment any incoming messages. So as you can see, this is my message, and this is response from the server, and this is the response from the server. And in my case, as you can see, in this case, the action is on message. So I need this on message to define my route for this action. So it's on message. Define the new route expression here, and I'm going to integrate it also with the Lambda function, which was on message. Not this one, on message. This. Save it. Okay, we give it the permission to invoke the Lambda function, and it should be done. And it's the same flow, one-way flow. And let's deploy the new version. Deploy test environment 101. It's ready. The URL should be the same. Let me refresh this page and connect again. Connection successfully established, and test message 1, and there should be no, I think it takes a couple of seconds to update, so it's ready. There are no errors for all the messages. There are no error coming back from the server, which means the message is handled by that Lambda function. And we can actually go back and attach forcibly a response. So add integration response for on message. Come on, let me remove this disconnect because we don't have it defined yet. Delete the route, delete on message. We can add integration response forcibly, everything what Lambda function returns back. Right now we'll go back to the client as a response. And let's deploy this new version. Test 102, deployed, is the same URL. Refresh the page, connect again, test message 1, send a message. Again, it takes a couple of seconds to redeploy this application, and send it again, and you can see, as you can see, there's hello from WebSocket Lambda, which is our Lambda function. So every time you send message, the Lambda will reply back with this response, and this response is coming back because of our forcibly attached integration response. So that's pretty much it, and in the next video we'll upgrade this WebSocket service to handle multiple connections and to share the data between the connections pretty much the same way like a chat works. When one client sends a message, all the other connections, all the other clients will receive that message. So see you in the next videos.